So many of us in this country and across the world are struggling with anxiety right now like never before. Our own government a number of years ago came out with a study that said about 40% of Americans struggle with anxiety every day. In our private practice of 43 years, I'm going to tell you, especially in the last 5 years, it's probably up to 60 or 70% of people struggling with anxiety daily. And what does that look like? And it could be an inability to sleep. It could be racing thoughts or ruminating thoughts or negative thoughts that keep returning to the mind that create that anxiety, right? We get into a pattern in the subconscious mind of always saying, well, I'm just a worrier. Oh my gosh, watch that self-talk, right? I'm always worried about everything. Now, the more we make those kind of statements, the more that anxiety becomes our identity and the more it stays. It's just not going to go anywhere. And so many people with anxiety will understandably avoid situations, social situations, which means they're not living life to the fullest. They'll be focusing on the future. Oh my God, in 6 months, what if this happens? In 4 months, what if this happens? And all of this is anxiety, right? Anxiety-based living. I have several of my clients, I'm going to say at least 5, that wake up every day either with anxiety in their chest or anxiety in their throat, and they're going, oh my gosh, like I'm starting off the day in this massive anxiety breakdown. And it wasn't until 1990 when I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder that I started looking more deeply into this. And I started to look at, well, what can we do to minimize it? And the most crucial thing we can do is to stimulate the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs through the entire body. And when we stimulate it, it starts to bring everything down. Now, I can tell you that this is so effective. I use it all the time now. This exercise I'm going to teach you, I use it in traffic. If there's a traffic jam and I start to feel anxiety, I go right into this exercise. If I see a call that I don't want to take right now and I start to feel anxiety, I don't take the call. I go into this exercise and then I call the person back. It is one of the simplest, it's one of the quickest, and it's the most effective way to stimulate the vagus nerve. Now, there's all kinds of products you'll see on the market. I don't know if they work or not, because I just stay with the most simplest one that has an extremely powerful effect. And what is this technique that can help minimize anxiety, like within maybe 30 seconds to a minute? It's called diaphragmatic breathing. It's a breathing technique. You don't need any tools. You don't need any equipment. You don't need anything other than you. And when I say I do this exercise in the car, if I start to feel anxiety, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late for the flight or I'm going to be late for this, I just go right to this space. Now, diaphragmatic breathing takes a little bit of practice, but it's so easy because it's just you. Put your hand on your stomach and inhale. Most of us have our chest rise when we inhale. Notice that? That's my chest rising. It's called shallow breathing. Chest breathing is shallow breathing. There's only a small amount of oxygen that we're bringing into the body. Of course, enough to keep us alive, but not enough to stimulate the vagus nerve. When you do diaphragmatic breathing, put your hand on your stomach, and you have to practice, and fill the stomach first. You'll notice you can take a lot more oxygen in when you're filling the stomach, diaphragmatic breathing, versus the chest, shallow breathing. You see how long I held that even while I was talking? So we can then start to see after 5 to 10 of these deep breaths. I have clients doing it before they get out of bed in the morning. They put their hand on their stomach. They do 10 deep breaths of this calming of the anxiety by stimulating the vagus nerve, and then they get up. Other people, there was a salesman I worked with that it was just a maniac in traffic. He started doing this. He's no longer a maniac in traffic. So it really works. If you need more help with anxiety, they still have not found a gene for it. There's still no instant a cure for this, but we have these type of practices that are so powerful. We really don't need anything else. And after we've calmed ourselves down, we go back and evaluate. And this is where working with me or another professional can really help. Reach out to me at talkdavid.com. We do free 20-minute sessions on the phone just to sort of get a chance to find out where you are and how I can help you. Then if we want to work together, we actually have specials for people who are really affected by inflation. We have discounted programs to work with me one-on-one. And then for people that aren't affected by inflation, we just ask you to pay the regular price. Everything is at talkdavid.com, including 5 or 6 books. I keep losing track, absolutely free. So go to talkdavid.com. Let's chat. Anxiety is all over the place. I am so grateful to have been taught diaphragmatic breathing in 1990. I had a phenomenal healer. And when he found out that I was just diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, he said, drop all the pills, drop everything else, do a few sessions with me. I did like probably 8 or 10 sessions with him. I got it down like that. And I started to evaluate, are these thoughts even necessary? We can remove those as well. So everything's at talkdavid.com. Let's go into the anxiety with tools that really work. We can help so many people in this world. Share the video. 60% plus of people struggling with anxiety. We all need to know this technique. I'm David Essel. Have a beautiful day.